What else we got? Well, we got Connect 4. We just went through Yahtzee.
Solitaire.
Yeah, Solitaire is like a card game, but I mean,
if we're going with other ones,
Scrabble.
I think I've only played Scrabble like 5. Well, no, I take that back because I have played it on the. They have Scrabble on your cell phone now that you can play with against other people, and I played that a couple times just on my cell phone also.
You remember like? No, okay. Obviously, I grew up playing games with my brother, right?
Fond memories.
We would get into literal fights over whether or not something was a word or not, to the point where our parents had to buy us a dictionary.
This is before the internet.
I mean, you learned something, didn't you? You learned some words.
And do you remember any of these words?
Not off the top of my head. Actually, I do remember one that I remember from our 7th grade science teacher, Mr. Barzak, I believe was his name.
Shout out.
Hopefully you're still around. He was a cool dude. Syzygy. S-Y. S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y. It's some... has something to do with space or something like that.
So
I don't remember the exact definition of it, but the word always stuck with me because the spelling was so crazy.
And it's a word that you've never used in life.
Never. Not once.
You just used it.
Well,
playing Scrabble, I did use it.
Then, but here's a game it was slightly more of an adult game, but not really a kid game. But Trivial Pursuit, I did play Trivial Pursuit quite a few times growing up. And my parents had different sets, so there's not all the same questions. I think that we had 3 different sets of questions.
No, I can't ever remember playing Trivial Pursuit.
I know what it is, I just never...
All I know is that when it came to movies and songs, or I think that was one of the sections, movies and songs or something like that, I was not going to get that answer right. So,
What was that one that people still play it where you get a card and you have to act it out?
Oh, wow.
What the hell is that? And the other one is kind of like an alternate where you have to draw it.
Yeah, that's Pictionary. I don't know what the other one. I don't know what the other one's called. I've never actually played either of those games.
Me neither.
Could be a good segment.
I think we're running out of games, boys.
Nah, there's plenty more, man.
That you played.
Okay, all right. Well, think about this. Would you technically consider Twister a board game?
I mean, there's a board with a spinny thing on it. And there's a board.
I
don't know if that's a board. Is that a board? It's like a...
we kind of went off the board thing. And just
technically, it's kind of like a mat, but
right.
It's a bodyboard game.
I played it a few times. I think I probably played Twister maybe 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I never found Twister all that fun.
I didn't either.
Well, it depends on how you play it.
Well,
that's more of an adult version.
If you go to the adult version.
There was. I remember this one game. I want to say the name of it was Stratego.
I've never even heard of that.
It was kind of an off the wall game where you had a board set up and obviously 2 sides, and you had an army. You had privates and corporals, sergeants, on up. They were numbered 1 through 9. 9 being your general, right?
Right.
The object of the game was obviously to take out the general, but they all had different types of movements and stuff, and you would. It was actually a relatively complicated game, but I'll tell you what, it was some great fun.
Right. I know what one we forgot about. Risk.
We already talked about that.
Did we say Risk?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. How I've only played against myself.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Never the same rules.
Wow.
I mean, I can't believe. I thought it was a normal thing for people to take games if they were just sitting there by themselves and play themselves at a board game.
If it's a normal thing, you think for people, for you out there to play yourself at a board game, there's no doubt.
I mean, how are you going to get good or practice at a game that you just keep on playing with another person? I mean,
yeah. that's typically how it should work. Because I mean, if you're playing yourself, you already know what you're going to do.
Well, those are for like strategic games.
Unless you got dice. I mean, like or Solitaire.
That's more or less a give a chance. Then
I'm sure I played Life against myself, where you spin the wheel, and then you have basically two different. It's not like you're actually competing against each other. I mean, at the end of the game, when you cross the finish line to see who has more money, you are. But basically, that's a game based on luck and the spins.
Well, I mean, a lot of these games are games of luck.
Right.
Pretty much all of them are.
But you did say you played Connect 4 by yourself.
Right.
How does that work out?
I mean, you just you basically try to develop strategies, guessing on what.
But you already know what you're going to do.
Yeah, kind of in a way, but
No, you definitely know what you're going to do in Connect 4.
Well, I mean, if you have one person, you're just putting things in, and you're learning different ways to play the game. Like if I put this here, where would I put this one? If I put this here, where would I put that one? And thinking this another person would probably do the same exact thing.
I see your point there.
It's kind of like playing against yourself at tic-tac-toe, which that's not a board game, but it's just basically a classic game. I learned by playing against myself that there is one way that if you put an X somewhere, or you start, if you're the starting person, which is always the X, I believe, and if they don't put an O in that certain spot on a tic-tac-toe on their first move, you automatically win.
But you see what I'm saying there? Like, you still have at least one more extra step in your head of what you're going to do.
Right.
So you are... And you don't know what the other person's going to do because you're not playing against them.
And knowing your own strategy and not being able to fight against it would mean that more than likely, if you already know what you're going to do, that we're getting way off base, and this is very complicated.
We're picking your brain, kid.
If you have a strategy and you know what you're going to do,
but you don't know what the other person
but you can still, and knowing your own strategy, and you can't defend against it.
But you don't know what the other person's going to do. Like, you might have a strategy in your head that you perfected.
Right. But if I know the strategy and I already know what I'm trying to do, and I can't even stop it, then how is this person that doesn't know what I'm going to do
couldn't you
going to
develop
stop
your strategies playing against, a human? Another human?
You could, but it's not as sufficient.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll take your word for it. You have much practice.
Efficient or fun?